Hey mama, if you're listening to this, you might be carrying a secret that feels too heavy to speak out loud. You look like you got it all together, you serve at church, maybe you even lead a Bible study. You smile when you drop off the kids, but no one sees the other side of you, the one that comes out behind closed doors. At home, you are a completely different person. You yell, you explode, you scream at your kids, sometimes in their face. You tell them to shut up. You grab them too harshly. You throw things across the room. You smack them in anger, twist their ears, spank them in rage, and immediately after, you are hit with a tidal wave of shame. You cry alone in your room and you whisper, "God, what is wrong with me?" You feel scared and disgusted by your own reactions. You're terrified that someone might find out. You wonder if your kids would be better off without you. You feel unworthy, broken, and too far gone to be redeemed. You try to fix this on your own. You listen to podcasts, parenting books, download freebies, but nothing changes. You keep falling back into the same patterns, and it feels like you are stuck in a cycle that you can't break. You don't trust yourself anymore, and if you're honest, you are afraid of who you become. But here's the truth, Mama. You are not beyond hope. You're not alone, and with God's help and the right support, you can change. I'm Elizabeth, a mom of 4 and an anger management coach for Christian moms. And inside my Calm Christian Mom coaching program, I guide women just like you through a powerful transformation. This isn't shallow behavior management. We go deep. We address your triggers, your stress, your mindset, your nervous system, and the spiritual root behind your patterns. We invite God into every layer and walk hand in hand towards healing. In just 12 weeks, you can become a completely different mom, unrecognizable. One who leads with patience, not panic. One whose children feel emotionally safe around her. One who cultivates peace. This summer, I'm offering a Calm Mama Strategy Session, a powerful 15-minute one-on-one coaching session designed to help you uncover the root of your anger and receive spiritual, emotional, and practical support. It's your chance to experience what coaching is like with me before diving deeper into ongoing support. If we both feel like the full program is the next right step, we can talk about what that looks like for you. You don't have to keep living like this. Your family is worth healing, and so are you. Use the link in the show notes to book the Calm Mama Strategy Session.
Hi friend, I'm so glad that you are here. Today we'll be talking about 5 ways to stay calm when you have a screaming baby. If you're a mom, you've experienced this, you're driving in the car, your baby is screaming, you feel helpless, and the frustration starts to grow, and it eventually maybe even turn to anger that you will take out on your other kids, okay? And I have some 5 tips for you today, and that will talk about things that you can do in the moment when you feel literally helpless, and it feels like you can't do anything. What kind of inspired me this is I was recently visiting my family in Minnesota, and I got together with one of my girlfriends, and she has a 2-month-old baby. And we were driving in the car. She picked me up, and the baby's screaming in the back seat. And you turn around, I turned around, I gave her the pacifier. She stopped for a second, and then I sat down and I buckled, and she starts screaming again. And she's like, "Oh my gosh, she does this so often." And I remember those days because my second son, he was colic, and I didn't know any of this information back then, but he would cry probably for 6 months straight. I felt like almost every time we drove, maybe 80 to 90% of the time when we were driving, he would scream in the car. And it's like your nervous system, your threshold, your boiling point just rises up so quickly. We are not meant to handle constant screaming and yelling like when our baby is screaming. Like, it is so normal to feel that frustration and trigger and wanting for that baby to calm down. It's so normal as moms. Like, we have this sense and we want our baby to be happy, right? We don't want our baby to be screaming, and we feel like this responsibility to do something in that moment. And when we can't, we feel so helpless, and that frustration raises up. So before we get into the episode, I just wanted to tell you that I am offering 45-minute coaching calls. So if you are a mom who's constantly stressed, overwhelmed, overreacting with your family, if you feel like you're losing your cool daily or almost daily with your kids, and maybe your kids are even getting scared of your mommy anger, and you feel hopeless and you feel like I've done all the things and nothing is working, I have 45-minute coaching calls that you can book a call with me, and you can even add on a whole nother week of Voxer coaching if that is something that you want to, and you can ask me more questions and I will answer to you within my working hours. So anyways, I'm so excited. So the link is in the show notes. If you scroll down, there's a link that says 45-minute coaching call, and you can book a call. All right, let's get back to our episode. So what do you do? What do you do when you find yourself getting so triggered and so frustrated when you have a screaming baby? And here's the thing, your brain will experience stress with prolonged screaming and yelling, okay? That creates a threat in your brain. It is normal to experience that frustration. Someone told me like a while back that in really hardcore military training, they will even turn on like for hours screaming kids for the people they're training, just so they get used to that stress response that it comes with it, because it's that stressful for your brain, right? It is normal to experience that frustration, that uncomfortable feeling, and even anger when it builds up. Combine that with lack of sleep, lack of alone time, having no support, feeling super overwhelmed. It can really easily get you to that feeling of anger and feeling really out of control. So here's the thing. Here's a few tips that I will share with you today that can help you in the heated moment when, let's say, you're driving or you're rocking your baby to sleep and your baby's just not calming down and you're just feeling so tense and so frustrated and so dysregulated. Number one, pray. Pray for God to calm that baby down, right? Because technically you can't control that baby. And I think that is something we learn really quickly when we become parents. Even though we feel like we can control our kids, starting from day one, you will quickly realize you literally cannot control your baby. You cannot force that baby to eat. Or maybe you can force food into their mouth, but you can't force them to swallow. You cannot force that baby to sleep. And those things or force them to, poop or whatever, those things make us feel out of control. And when we feel out of control, that makes us feel unsafe in the situation, and we will get that frustration, and then eventually with enough stress, it will lead to anger, okay? So first, pray. You can't control your baby, but what you can do is control yourself and your own reactions. So pray for God to calm that baby down, to give you wisdom, what needs to be done in that heat of the moment. I somewhere recently learned, she's like, don't pray. Somebody said, she's like, don't pray for patience, because God is going to give you moments where you would need to experience patience. So she's like, pray for wisdom and guidance and being compassionate and understanding. So pray for God to give you wisdom and guidance to figure out what's going on. Because here's the thing, the baby's not crying to frustrate you. The baby's struggling for some reason or another, and this is their only way of communication. And we'll get that to when we get to point 4, okay? We'll talk about that more in depth. So pray for God to help you remain calm and patient, and pray for God to help that baby calm down, okay? Number 2 is breathe. So taking long, deep breaths. And with each exhale, breathe in through your nose, exhale through your mouth. With each exhale, relax those shoulders. So even if you're driving, you can still pray and you can still take deep breaths, okay? And you can even tell yourself, breathe in peace, breathe out stress, breathe in calm, breathe out tension, whatever if you need to say that or not. But deep breathing actually sends a safety signal to your brain. So the baby screaming is sending a threat signal to your brain. And if you remain in that, it's going to eventually get to a point where it's super stressful, right? So deep breathing will calm your nervous system. Now, you're literally trying to balance this and neutralize it somewhat, right? Because you're still having that constant screaming of the baby. So my goal is for it to become somewhat neutral and for you not to like freak out and lose it, okay? So number 1 is pray. Number 2 is taking deep, slow breaths. And if you need to do that for a long time, do it for a long time. Here's the thing. Your baby senses your energy, right? Here's a great example. Have you ever been like super frustrated with trying to put your baby to sleep? They're cranky, they're like resisting it, and you're just so fed up with it. You're getting so frustrated. And then your husband comes from work and he's in a good mood and he's all, had a good day, and he comes in and he just takes over and the baby just calms down really quickly. Well, here's the thing. The babies don't understand everything that's going on when they're so little, but what they do understand and they can sense is your energy. So they cannot regulate their own emotions on their own, but they can co-regulate. So if you are calm and collected and grounded, they can borrow some of that energy, right? And so even if they're struggling in pain or whatever, you remaining calm and collected is going to help them borrow some of that calm energy. And deep breathing is a way for you to stay calm and collected, okay? Number 3 is sing. Sing a song that is calming and something that maybe I would even recommend. I did this with my 4th child. So when she was just born, I think it was all over Instagram at that time, that song. And that's the song I downloaded on Spotify and I started singing it to my daughter. And it's, you are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Sorry, I know my voice isn't the greatest, but guess what? My daughter doesn't care. So that is a song that I would sing to my daughter when she was brand new, a new baby, when I would rock her to sleep, when I would just put her to bed. Sometimes I would just hold her and I would sing that song. Sometimes when I would nurse her. So then that song became like this calming melody that when she would hear it, she would calm down. I'm not even joking you. And so sometimes when we would be driving and I'm driving and she's screaming, and I would ask one of the kids to give her a pacifier, and then I would either turn on that song on Spotify so it's really nice and loud in the car, or I would just sing it myself. And I'm not even kidding you, she would calm down. Obviously not right away, not immediately, but she would. And so having a song that you sing to your baby to help them calm down, and it's also calming for your nervous system. So when you sing a song or a tune, it's also calming for your nervous system. All right, I don't know if you hear my baby that just woke up in the background, so let's try to finish this episode before she really starts screaming and I have to get her. Okay, number 4 is saying a mantra or an affirmation that will help you remain calm, okay? Like I said, when the baby's screaming, it creates a threat in your brain and you will experience that stress response. And affirmations will help you shift your mindset and perspective and help you remain more calm and send a safety signal to your brain. So one of them will be like, this will pass, because in the heat of the moment, it feels like it will never end, right? This will pass. This will pass. I am peaceful. I am calm. I am peaceful. I am calm. Okay. And then I have a good baby who is having a hard time. I have a good baby who's having a hard time. If you see it from that perspective, from that lens, it is so much easier to stay compassionate and understanding and calm in the heated moment. Why? Because your baby is not screaming to frustrate you, even though it might feel like that in the heat of the moment. She's not doing this on purpose to piss you off. She's truly having a hard time. She might be in pain. She might be overstimulated. She might be hungry. She might be uncomfortable. Whatever it is, the reason is, right? Your baby is a good baby who's having a hard time. And if you see it from that lens, and if you remind it to yourself in that moment, it will be so much easier to remain calm and collected. And I will link an episode. I did an interview with my sister-in-law a while back, and she had a colic baby, and we talked all about the mom rage that it would bring up and how she was struggling with remaining calm when you're sleep deprived, right? When you had no alone time. But we talked about ways to remain calm in the heated moments as well. Okay. And so number 1 is pray. Number 2 is breathe. Number 3 is sing a song. Number 4 is a positive affirmation or a mantra. Number 5 is visualizing a safe, calm place. So maybe not the best thing to do when you are driving, but other moments, if you're rocking your baby to sleep or something like that, if you're by yourself and you don't have any support, anybody that can take over, but visualizing a peaceful, calm place like the ocean or the garden or something like that is peaceful and calm for you, and that's going to help you remain more grounded and collected and calm your nervous system. Okay, so another one. This is bonus. If you have someone around you, please ask for help. With my kiddos, I gave a pacifier to all my kids for a reason. So when we are driving, if I would sit in the back or my husband, somebody could give the baby a pacifier to calm down. I literally shoved it in their mouths from the first week they were born until they started to take it, even though they would spit it out in the beginning. Of course, that's not an option for everybody. If you choose not to, that's all cool. I also started to give my babies a favorite blanket. Within the first month, I would always give them this same blanket that they would sleep with. So then they had this calming, blanket that they would calm them down, and security blanket. So if I'm not available, they can have that, and that helps them calm down. Or my youngest has a little soft bunny that I give to her. So that is another tip that you could try when your kids are a little bit older. So anyways, when things are a little bit tough, ask for help. Literally ask if your spouse is there. If there's another adult, please ask for help, because sometimes you need to walk away. There's a whole thing that is called shaken baby syndrome, and it is real. It exists. And if the stress builds up enough and you're sleep deprived and you're hungry and you're just exhausted and you have no alone time, and it will get to a point, if there's so much stress on your brain in that moment, you will get to a point of almost feeling rage and you want to hurt that baby. You have to walk away. You absolutely have to walk away. It is better to leave that baby in a room, in a crib, and then go downstairs to the basement, remove yourself from the situation until you're collected enough to think clearly, okay? If your spouse is there, ask for help. If you have older kids that can give a pacifier or be with a baby or something like that, ask for help, because that is not a weakness. That is the best thing you can do if it's there and if it's available. Call your mom, call your mother-in-law, call a friend, somebody that you trust that can maybe come in and take over, because it can become really, really stressful and get to that point where it eventually gets to that mom rage. And it's not because you're bad. It's not because you're a bad mom. You're literally just struggling. Okay. So to recap, the 5 things is to pray, take deep breaths, sing, say positive affirmations or a mantra, visualize a safe, calm place. A bonus one is to ask for help and walk away when needed. All right, my friend, I gotta go. I have a baby that woke up. I'm sorry. She's been crying for the last, 5 minutes or so as I've been recording this, but I hope you found value in this episode, and I will see you next time.
Hey mama, do you find yourself snapping over the smallest things, like spilled milk or constant whining, then feeling horrible afterwards? If you're tired of losing your temper and you want to show up, with more patience, I have something for you. It's a free training called How to Be More Patient with Your Kids so you're not screaming over spilled milk. Inside, I'll walk you through 10 simple things you can start doing today to become a calmer, more Christ-like mom, even on the hard days. To get it for free, just leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts and send a screenshot to hello@emotionallyhealthylegacy.com. Or if you'd rather skip the wait, you can grab it right now for just $27. The link is in the show notes. Let's help you become the peaceful, patient mom your kids need.